Good morning, and welcome to Sunday worship at First Parish in Concord. My name is Kim Seeger. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm honored to serve on the governing board. First Parish is a member of the Unitarian Universalist Association of Congregations, and love is at the center of all we strive to do and all we aspire to be. Welcome to all joining us both in our sanctuary and on Zoom. If you are visiting or new to the congregation and need assistance during the service, please chat with your online Zoom host or see one of our ushers at the rear of the sanctuary. Immediately after the service, you're invited to stay for coffee hour in Parish Hall, where members of the welcoming and membership team will be available to answer questions and help you get connected. As your governing board rep for the morning, I'll be available for questions and conversation. Please come and say hello. First Parish is a lively congregation with many ways to get involved. Please check out the bulletin insert in the order of service for upcoming opportunities. And this morning, I'd like to remind you all that we are in the middle of our annual campaign season. Once you've made your pledge, please don't forget to get your Stronger Together card, fill it out, and add it to the display in the Parish Hall as a visible, tangible reminder that during this moment in time, we are indeed stronger together. You can find the cards near the display in the Parish Hall. The night before the No Kings rally, let's gather together for an evening of community connection. Join us for a casual dinner followed by singing, spiritual grounding, shared learning, and conversation. Together, we'll explore how community can care for one another and our neighbors as we prepare for what the next 8 months may bring. See your First Parish Weekly to RSVP. Welcome once again. To gather in worship is a sacred act, and your presence among us is a blessing. We are glad and grateful that you are here.
My name is Reverend Jenna Crawford. I use she and her pronouns, and I am honored to serve as your minister of congregational care. This morning, we are so excited and grateful to be joined by musicians from the Sanctuary Boston Band. They have an amazing lineup prepared for you all today, and if you like what you hear, they'll be selling CDs of their recently released album in the Parish Hall after the service, so don't forget to swing by and grab a CD. Thank you so much for the gifts of your music. They are a blessing to our entire UU movement. The Sanctuary Boston Band is here today because our choir is getting ready for the Immigrant Experience concert happening at 4 p.m. this afternoon at First Church Roxbury in collaboration with UU Urban Ministry. And I understand that tickets are still available, so please consider supporting our choir in Roxbury this afternoon. It's a concert you won't want to miss. The flaming chalice is the symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith tradition, and lighting the chalice is how we begin every worship service. The senior youth group, who is also hard at work in the kitchen this morning, preparing snacks for coffee hour, has gifted us with our beautiful chalice lighting words for the month of March. This morning, Hugh Morgan will be leading us in our chalice lighting ritual on behalf of the youth group. These words were meant to be read responsively, so as Hugh reads the plain print, please join along in reading aloud the italicized words.
Be still for a moment. The snow on the branches will give way to buds. The silent winter gives way to the lively spring. Take time to look around. Pay attention to what is be still for a moment.
Two days ago, we celebrated the spring equinox, where the Earth's alignment is perfectly perpendicular, tilting neither toward nor away from the sun. And there is an equal balance between light and darkness worldwide. This morning, let us let the wisdom of the equinox wash over us and bolster our own deep inner knowing about that divine dance that is always unfolding between what's light and what's dark, between what's heavy and what's light, while the wheel of the seasons keeps turning. This morning, allow into this sacred space your heartache and your deep wonder. Bring into this holy moment those places inside of you that know pain, that know loss, and those places that know unabashed joy. Allow the both ands to be true. In the words of Jack Gilbert, the ruthless furnace of this world, and despite everything, music. On this day, as the percentage of our days that are bathed in light is steadily increasing, minute by minute overtaking the portion of our days steeped in darkness, let us contemplate our own inner light, that divine spark that ignites the flame, and the many ways that we, impossibly and together, keep the flame kindling. Come, let us worship together.
I'm going to invite you to rise in body or spirit for our opening hymn, number 118. Today is a great day. We're going to sing a lot today, a great day to try out some harmonies. My advice for harmonies, I didn't come up with this, try out a note. If you don't like it, try the one next door. And today's also a great day to experiment with loosening up a little bit. If you're usually just pretty solid, see if you can get some shoulders into it. If you usually got a little bit of shoulders, see if you can step from side to side. You're going to get 2 measures of eighth notes, and then we're all in. This little light of mine. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Everywhere I go.
Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Building up a world.
Building up a world, I'm gonna let it shine. Building up a world, I'm gonna let it shine. Building up a world, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine,
little light of mine.
let it shine, let it shine. Shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Good morning. I'd like to invite our young people to come forward for the first couple of pews for the time of all ages. And while they're on their way, I'd like to share what is happening in religious education today. Little RE or childcare is available downstairs in the Milldam Nursery School for preschoolers and kindergartners. Our first and second graders are already in Little Owl with Amy and Heather. Our Crossing Paths group is attending a Zen archery demonstration in Cambridge. High school students are baking cookies for a bake sale at coffee hour to benefit our Transylvanian High School Scholarship Program. So please stop by there at coffee hour. It smells good already. Okay, are we all settled here? First, I want to let you know I had a little cold this past week, and my voice is still a little funny. I'm just going to do the best I can. Our message this morning comes from Randy Hammer. I want to show you something and wonder about it together. I have a lit candle here. Yes, in church. What do you think will happen if we put a lid on this candle? Let's watch. So, you knew what was going to happen. Do you know why? Yes, that's right. There's not any air. And fire needs oxygen, just as you and I need oxygen to live. Did you have another answer? See, yeah. Once all the oxygen is burned up inside the jar, the flame goes out. So that's a need that the flame requires to continue. I'm going to light it again. One more time. There we go. So, candles also remind us that fire is something to handle with care, and lighting a candle is something we only do with an adult, right? This candle has something to teach us. Inside every one of us, there is a light, a flame, a spark, something bright and alive. Some people call it a divine spark, or the spark of the divine, and some call it an inner light. And just like this candle, our light needs the right conditions. Sometimes our light flickers. Sometimes it grows small. But our light can be tended, and even the tiniest spark can be rekindled. So let's pay attention to what makes our light grow dim, and do less, move away, or protect ourselves from those things. And let's pay attention to what makes our light brighter, and move closer to those things. It's kind of simple, but harder to do than it sounds. I want to share one of the things that makes my light shine brighter. Being right here with you in this place. As it is written in Matthew 5:14, the great teacher Jesus said, "You are the light of the world. Let your light shine." This morning, Carol Haney and Sue St. Croix are leading Bible stories. Let's sing them on their way. Thank you.
This song has a couple of parts that you can sing along to. You'll hear us repeat this first part many times, and then it'll come back later. Even the words for you are, even if you want to give up, everything is possible. And then later there'll be another repeating part that you can see the words for up there. That's their instrumental.
Even if you want to give up, everything is possible. Even if you want to give up, everything is possible. Even if you want to give up, everything is possible. Even if you want to give up, everything is possible.
Sometimes I want to just give up. It would be so much easier. I could just sit on my couch and eat the same chips that I always do. 'Cause right now there's a stormy cloud that's landed around my head. It's blocking me from seeing anything except what could go wrong if I take the next step. But there's something inside me, the place where I'm brave.
Even if you want to give up, everything is possible. Even if you want to give up, everything is possible. Even if you want to give up, everything is possible. Even if you want to give up, everything is possible. Even if you want to give up, everything is possible. Even if you want to give up, everything is possible. Even if you want to give up, everything is possible. Even if you want to give up, everything is possible. I believe that I can be what the world needs and what I need. I believe that I can be what the world needs and what
Sing out of
I
heart.
need.
Even if you want to give up,
That
everything
I
is
can
possible.
be what the
Even if you want to give up,
and what
everything is possible. Even if you want to give up,
that I
everything is
can be
possible.
what the
Even if you want to give up,
and what I need.
last time. Even if you want to give up,
That I can be what the
even if you want to give up,
and what I need.
As a covenanted spiritual community, it matters that we share with each other the joys that make our hearts sing, the sorrows that make our hearts ache, and the prayers that we'd like held and magnified by each other. This morning, Marion Stanley shares the news that her sister-in-law, Joanne, has declined further kidney dialysis treatment after 2 years and is entering hospice this week. She appreciates prayers and good thoughts at this juncture from her First Parish community. Please hold Joanne and Marion in love and care this week as you also join me in the spirit of prayer and meditation. What even is a prayer? Is it part lamentation, part plea, a naming of the aches felt here and around the world, a ritual and collective sending off of our deep yearnings for each other's well-being? Is it a scraping up of all the gratitude we can yet muster, like the last remaining spoonful of honey that sticks to the bottom of the jar, but it's there, we know it's there, and can almost taste its sweetness? Is it an admission of our own human limitations, a surrender to something greater, be it God or spirit, or simply the expansive and beautiful world around us? If prayer is meant to be a plea and a lamentation, let us send wishes for well-being to those across the Middle East, in particular to Iran and Lebanon, stuck in the middle of a war that our country has in part created. To those who have lost family members in the last weeks, to those who now live in constant fear. Let us send deep wishes for well-being and widespread change to those around the country experiencing the inhumanity of ICE detention centers, deportation, or being separated from their families. Let us hold in our hearts those in Sudan and those in Cuba. If prayer is squeezing gratitude like out of a honey jar, I am grateful this morning to the crocuses and the witch hazel, to Mother Earth blessing us with a brand new day and ground yet again to walk on, and each of you. If prayer is really about surrender, help us know what it is that we can do to better the world in our particular time place, and what it is that is out of our control. Grant us humility, equanimity, and compassion for a journey such as ours. What else and who else and where else is on your heart this week? What aspects of prayer have I missed that your heart longs to name? As you feel moved, you're invited to type into the chat box or share aloud quietly from the pews the names and locations of others that are on your heart this week. And let us end with a moment of loving silence for all that has been shared and for those prayers that still remain in the quiet corners of our hearts. Amen.
Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Holy, pray, and holy
Good morning. I'm going to go off script for a moment. I had the pleasure of being at the Sanctuary Boston album release party this past summer, and it was fabulous. So treat yourself to their CD this morning in the Parish Hall. I listen to it every morning, and it's fabulous. On to more serious matters. Perhaps over the past 3 Sundays, you've heard about the March Share the Plate, which goes to the Beyond Bond and Legal Defense Fund. So you know that this is an organization that collects money to bond out immigrants who have been put in prison for the flimsiest of reasons and for lack of bond, which can range from $2,000 to $20,000, are left to languish, often without access to family, attorneys, warmth, food, medical care. So please continue, as I know you have the last few Sundays, to give generously to the Beyond Bond Fund. I want to talk about a second initiative that comes out of this organization, and it's something that is not as well known, but is as important. Beyond is, in addition to the bond payment, an immigrant being held must show that they have a sponsor, that is, someone who is willing to advocate for the person's solvency should they be released. That is, that they will not become a burden on the state. You do that, I've done that, you can do that, by showing your own financial status. This isn't as scary or complicated as it sounds, and believe me, for me at first it sounded both of those things, complicated and scary. Jeff and I did it, Rachel Wheeler did, Kathleen Bean, and other people that you may know. It takes about an hour and a leap of faith. As a result of that, people who have been in detention are able to complete the last hurdle to being released. A judge requires that someone attests to their solvency. Now, there is no further commitment to you, financial or otherwise. It's simply paperwork. An hour of your time, a leap of faith. It can be done remotely. If you're willing to go that next step, please see me at coffee hour or catch up with me by email or phone or with Rachel Wheeler, who will be happy to talk to you about it as well. I'll leave you with this. After we submitted the paperwork for Paolo, I waited anxiously for several days and then got the call that as a result of that, he had been released and returned to his family. I cannot describe the feeling to you, and I'm not usually at a loss for words, but I have no words on this one. If you'd like to know what that feeling can be about, please consider being a sponsor. Thank you.
Unusually for an offertory, I'd like to invite you to rise in body or spirit and sing a rowdy song of defiance and determination together. Bright morning stars arising, bright morning stars arising, bright morning stars arising.
Day is a breaking in my soul.
Bright morning stars arising,
Bright morning stars arising, bright morning stars arising. Day is a breaking in my soul.
rise up and hear your
Calling, rise up and hear your calling, rise up and hear your calling. Day is a breaking in my soul.
Lift your voice. Oh, lift your voice
to heaven. Oh, lift your voice to heaven. Oh, lift your voice to heaven. Day is a breaking in my soul. We'll raise a mighty chorus to sing out loud for justice. We'll raise a song in joyfulness. Day is a breaking in my soul. Bright morning stars are rising, bright morning stars are rising, bright Christmas Day in revelry. We'll dance here in good company. I know we're saved already. Day is a breaking in my soul.
We're born
into belonging, a people made for loving. A bright new day is coming. Day is a breaking in my soul. Bright morning stars are rising. Bright morning stars are rising. Bright morning stars are rising. Day is a breaking in my soul.
and faith will grow.
In faith we'll grow together. We'll build this world up better. With love here at the center. Day is a breaking in my soul.
Bright morning star.
Bright morning stars are rising. Bright morning stars are rising. Bright morning stars are rising. Day is a breaking in my soul.
Day is a breaking.
Day is a breaking in my soul.
One last time.
Day is a breaking in my soul.
In September of 1969, Audre Lorde was asked to present at the Second Sex Conference in New York City. The Second Sex Conference was an international conference on feminist theory, convened to mark the 30th anniversary of the publication of Simone de Beauvoir's seminal text, The Second Sex. She opened her lecture like this: I agreed to take part in this conference a year ago with the understanding that I would be commenting upon papers dealing with the role of difference within the lives of American women. Difference of race, sexuality, class, and age. It is a particular academic arrogance to assume any discussion of feminist theory without examining our many differences, and without a significant input from poor women, Black and third world women, and lesbians. And yet I stand here as a Black lesbian feminist, having been invited to comment within the only panel at this conference where the input of Black feminists and lesbians is represented. She goes on, what this says about the vision of this conference is sad in a country where racism, sexism, and homophobia are inseparable. To read this program is to assume that lesbian and Black women have nothing to say about existentialism, the erotic, women's culture and silence, developing feminist theory, or heterosexuality and power. And what does it mean in personal and political terms when even the two Black women who did present here were literally found at the last hour? What does it mean when the tools of a racist patriarchy are used to examine the fruits of that same patriarchy? It means only that the most narrow perimeters of change are possible and allowable. Audre Lorde's talk would go on to become the thing most remembered about that conference, sowing some of the foundational seeds for the third wave of feminism that would emerge about a decade later in the early 1990s. The talk goes on to make a few different key points. One, excluding Black, poor, and lesbian women from discussions of feminist thought narrows the range of lived experiences represented in the academy. By centering the voices of straight women, white women, and middle class or upper class women, the dominant voices representing the fields are more closely allied to the centers of power, even if disenfranchised along the gender axis, and in my interpretation, have more to lose if the social order is challenged too radically. 2, if the academic feminist movement were to instead embrace difference along more axes, the variety of lived experiences and cultural customs and the wisdom that emerges from that variety would actually generate more possibilities in the movement for women's liberation. Besides, she says, without community, and by this she means a broad and diverse community, there is no liberation, only the most vulnerable and temporary armistice between an individual and her oppression. 3, the forces of patriarchy itself and its imperative to divide and conquer are clearly alive and well within the workings of the feminist movement. Though its targets are different, it's the same force that drives racism and homophobia. Pointedly, she says in her talk, I urge each one of us here to reach down into that deep place of knowledge inside herself and touch that terror and loathing of any difference that lives there and see whose face it wears. 4, following points 1 through 3, finally, and this is a direct quote, the master's tools will never dismantle the master's house. They may allow us temporarily to beat him at his own game, but they will never enable us to bring about genuine change. March is International Women's History Month, and while it matters that we look back to the ancestors and celebrate women's contributions to science, the arts, the humanities, and civic life in its own right, I can't help but hear Audre Lorde's words echoing in my ears as I think about the pro-democracy movement of today. Her plea for justice movements to follow the lead of those most marginalized, not just those who find themselves not currently served by the current administration, but those who have never really been served by it. Those who learned to be subversive and non-compliant a long time ago and whose survival has always depended on robust communities of care. Her observation that systems of dominance in our American context all rely on this strategy of divide and conquer. To her initial list of patriarchy, racism, homophobia, and classism, I would also add ableism, transphobia, religious discrimination, and capitalism. Her astute analysis about how, even when we desperately don't want it to, those of us who came of age in this culture have internalized some of that divide and conquer mentality, some of that fear of difference in others, and difference that lives within ourselves. And of course, her subsequent conviction, the master's tools will never dismantle the master's house. 2 weeks ago, I confessed my biochemistry background to you all from the pulpit. In the intervening 2 weeks, there has been some expected fallout from that choice. Several of you have asked, how does someone make the move from biochemistry to theology in just 2 years? And to that, I will publicly say that is a whole nother sermon. There has also been some surprising aftermath to this self-disclosure. I found myself in the hot seat at the lunch table in the kitchen last week to a staff team quizzing me about the chemical composition of glutamate. This staff team does not mess around. But now that I've come clean as a chemistry nerd, I feel a sense of deep relief because now I can include math equations in my sermons moving forward. And that is a treat for me, and maybe also for you. So here's one for you. Big leaps equals strategy to the exponential of the human quotient. This equation comes from a book that was published a little over a month ago by the indigenous Hawaiian Zen master Roshi Norma Wong. The book is called Who We Are Becoming Matters. In the book, Norma argues that the particular time space that we are inhabiting right now is going to require big leaps to shift the course of humankind and to reverse the cycle of destruction. But when we think about big seismic leaps, I think many of us may think subconsciously in terms of this equation. Big leaps equals strategy. The progress we can make depends on how clever the strategy is. Or perhaps this equation. Big leaps equals strategy times mass mobilization, where the quality of the strategy is important and all the while multiplied by how many people get involved in carrying it out. Or maybe even this equation. Big leaps equals strategy to the exponential of leadership, all multiplied by the degree of mass mobilization. Which is to say that the effectiveness of the strategy has to do with the quality of the leadership overseeing its execution, multiplied by the degree of mass mobilization. But no, Roshi Norma argues this one. Big leaps equals strategy to the exponential of the human quotient. Norma writes, who we are matters. Much focus is given to what it is that we do and what it is that we have, but the being part counts at least as much, if not more. In the book, Norma dedicates an entire chapter to the human quotient, so beware that my summary may be less than fully complete. But the human quotient involves the many ways that we lean into rather than away from our humanity. And I take that to mean leaning into courage, compassion, wisdom, our sensing and sensuous bodies, our proclivity for play and laughter and spirituality, and also an ability to lean into this sense of interconnectedness with other human beings, no matter their preferences or politics. This temptation toward othering, which Norma summarizes as they don't understand, they are terrible, they think they're better than us, and so on and so forth, is equally problematic to both Norma and to Audre Lorde when it comes to justice work. It is, in other words, antithetical to the human quotient and severely weakens our ability to turn strategy into big leaps forward. In another place, Norma writes, humanity does not require perfection. It does require evolution, which may very well require the fiercest resistance to de-evolution until our muscles are realigned to the ways of creation rather than destruction. The book of Exodus in the Hebrew Scriptures, detailing events that transpired long before the creation of modern nation states, is home to a famous biblical story, the parting of the Red Sea. The moment when Moses stretches out his hand and the waters of the Red Sea miraculously divide in two so that Moses' people can pass through on dry ground. And then, of course, the Red Sea closes behind them so that the Pharaoh and his army cannot make it across. But what is not as often remembered about that story is what happens after Moses and his people reach safety on the other side. Notably, when they reach the other side, they don't get right into organizing. They don't optimize their next move. They don't collapse with exhaustion. No, the prophet Miriam, Aaron's sister, grabs a tambourine and begins to sing and dance. And then the rest of the women follow. This point in the journey is by no means the end of their struggles, but they pause anyways to celebrate and to make music. Perhaps this is the first real sign of their genuine liberation. If life under Pharaoh's reign represented a world of forced labor and production, then this moment is a clear rupture. Here they use their bodies not for labor, but for joy. Here they take care to not replicate the ways of their oppressor, but to chart a different way of being together. The master's tools will never dismantle the master's house. The master's tools in our particular moment in time, in this place, not entirely dissimilar from the Pharaoh's tools, involve the confluence of the tributaries of white supremacy, cis-hetero supremacy, patriarchy, ableism, and capitalism into one shared sea of othering and commodifying. The influence of capitalism in particular reduces the divinity and inherent worthiness of each one of us into what it is that we can produce and how quickly. And to perhaps the greatest extent in human history, devalues the otherwise generative tools of joy, play, rest, creativity, community, and silence. So let us integrate into this our movement to push back against authoritarianism, empire, and state-sanctioned violence. Let us integrate song and dance. As Reverend Jennifer spoke about last Sunday, pleasure, comfort, rest, and the peace of wild things. Let us take naps and host potlucks and stay diligent about our spiritual practices. Let us revere our God or gods, connect with our neighbors, and find ways to remember the humanity of the other, and then remember it again after we have forgotten. Let us build altars for our ancestors and tree houses for our children. Let us pick carrots from the garden and burn sage in the kitchen. Let us use our bodies not just for labor, but also for joy. Let us pick up a tambourine and make music, even when we are only partway there and the road ahead is still windy and long. Not just for our own sanity, but for the sake of the movement's success and survival. Because the master's tools will never dismantle the master's house. And our ability to make big leaps forward depends not just on our strategy, but more profoundly on the human quotient. Let's center humanity, ours and others, in our pro-democracy and immigrant justice work. Let's remember our divinity, ours and others, in our anti-war witness. Let us let our little light shine in the face of a presently pervasive darkness. May it be so. Blessed be, and amen.
This next song is an adaptation of a traditional song. You can rise in body or spirit if you'd like. And there will be a repeated part at the end where you can just keep singing, "How Can I Keep From Singing?"
My life flows on in endless song among earth's land. sweet, though far off in some stranger's new creation. In all their tumult, all my strife, I hear their music ringing. It sounds as echo in my soul. How can I keep from singing? And though the tempest round me roars, that plain rough truth brings beauty. And when the darkness round me close, the cradling night sings to me. Those storms will shake my inmost calm. Well, to the rocks I'm clinging. Some web of shaking heaven and earth. How can I keep from singing? I lift my eyes, the clouds grow thin. I know there's blue above it, and day by day the day's path comes. Since first I chose to love it, these piecemeal hopes, these careworn heart, are fountains ever springing, and all shall be well, and all shall be well. How can I keep from singing?
How can I keep
How can I keep
from singing?
from singing?
How can I keep
Can I keep from singing? And all shall be well, and all shall be well, all shall be well, and all shall be well. How can I keep? How can I keep
from singing?
from singing? How can I keep from singing?
What a joy and blessing it is to co-create worship with you three. Thank you. As we wind down this sacred hour, please take these words, a poem called "Won't You Celebrate With Me" by Lucille Clifton, as a parting thought. Won't you celebrate with me what I have shaped into a kind of life? I had no model. Born in Babylon, both non-white and woman, what did I see to be except myself? I made it up here on this bridge between starshine and clay, my one hand holding tight my other hand. Come celebrate with me that every day something has tried to kill me and has failed.
You can rise in this one too, for this one too, if you like. Sorry to get you up and down. 2, 1, 2, 3.
This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This joy that I
Please now join me in giving and receiving the traditional benediction of this congregation, as on your screens. Go out into the world in peace. Have courage. Hold on to what is good. Return to no person evil for evil. Strengthen the faint-hearted. Support the weak. Help the suffering. Honor all beings. Today you're invited to stay standing for the postlude as you're willing and able, and keep singing along.
This joy, 1, 2, 3. This joy
that
that
I have, the world didn't give it to me. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me.